Hey everybody, I want to show you how we're going to put on this K&K shallow water anchor light, the new 2.0 version. You've got two bolts here on the back holding the peg on, they're 7/16. We're going to make sure we take them out and then we're going to run our wire down here. But I want to start with these two bolts. You're going to take the factory bolts out and you're going to place them with our hardware. Everything that you need for this K&K 2.0 shallow water anchor light is included. Comes with an Allen wrench to put these things on. The only thing that you're going to need is a 10mm wrench. You're going to need some crimping tools and some cutting tools. Let's get this on. You put the bolts through first, then the spacers on. Slide it through the existing holes in the top knuckle. Put your lock nuts on the other side. Everything's black stainless steel. Sleek look, you don't have to worry about rusting. We're using an impact and a wrench for this. You can use the Allen wrench that we supply you. We're just doing this for speed in this video. We're going to get these things tightened up and snugged up so that we can show you this quickly. Now, we're going to loosen this light up on the top. You don't have to do this to install it. We're loosening it up and getting it out of our way so that we can show it to you in the video. This is a pivot point in the light in case you ever have an issue where you get stuck under a dock and it adds too much pressure. Hopefully this will act as a breakaway and move instead of you breaking the light. Not always, but it does save some. So this is a 1/4-inch drill bit. We're going to drill right in the middle of the knuckle. Just wanted to show you in the position of the light already on. We're going to drill through it. Very simple. There it is. It's hollow in the back end of a Raptor. At the end of this video, hollow in the back end of a power pole. At the end of this video, we're going to leave a Raptor part for you to show you where to drill through. Everything else is identical except for where you drill. So now we're going to go ahead and run this wire through this 1/4-inch hole that we just created. We pull all the slack through. We're ready to go. And then we're going to go ahead and tighten down the light bulb real quick. That way we don't have to go back and do it later. And that way we know exactly how much wire is needed on the inside of the channel here. These U-rails separate and close depending on what depth you're at. So you're going to need a little bit of wire in there that moves. We're going to create a loop in it. We're going to show you how we do it. But how we install this is by using Gorilla Tape. Believe it or not, yes, Gorilla Tape. It holds really well and it even holds underwater for a really long time. So we use 3 to 4 inch pieces of Gorilla Tape that are easy to maintain and handle in there. These are brand new power poles on a brand new boat. But what you really want to do is make sure that you take rubbing alcohol and a rag and just wipe down the chase on the inside so you don't have to worry about it. We're going to pull this wire all the way down so that it's ready to go. We went over all the top pivot points, that first pivot point, and then over the hydraulics. Now this is what we're talking about with the Gorilla Tape and the loop that we're going to create so that we have the movement that we need while this thing opens and closes. I'm just going to apply it here. I'm going to bring it up to where I like my loop, and then I'm going to stick it fast. There we go. That's us creating that loop. You're going to see it here after I get it applied. See, we got a 1/2-inch loop there. It's not enough to get pinched, but it's enough that as we open and close, it's got its movement. We're going to apply a second piece here. I personally like 4 pieces, one on top and bottom above the pivot, and then one top and bottom below that pivot. So if you watch where I'm going, you don't have to be exact. You just got to make sure you get it up there so nothing can get pinched. So I'm going to apply that second piece right there. Then we're going to go below the pivot and we're going to do the same exact thing with another 2 pieces before the hydraulics. Now, to be honest, I am making this look a little easier. It's hard to get that tape in there and get it all the way into the top center of the frame. I actually roll my tape into a U, attach a wire to it, slide it up there to where it sticks, and then spread that U out. Makes it a little bit easier for me. You just just got to get it up there so it can't move. Once we're over the hydraulics, we're going to use zip ties that are also supplied by us. You get 10 zip ties per shallow water anchor light, so you've got plenty to get it done. I'm going to loosely put one on these hydraulics real quick with our anchor light so that we can run our wire through the chase. Here's us coming through the chase. We're going to pull that slack out again. 16-foot wire, so it fits anything you possibly need. You can put it on the port or starboard side of the boat or both. You can also put it on 10-foot or 8-footers. You can put it on any model of a shallow water anchor. And then it doesn't matter whether your anchor light socket is in the middle of the back of the boat or all the way on the starboard side. Now we're putting some loose zip ties on here so that we know roughly what the length's going to be. And then we got to get this wire through the outside of the boat to the inside. So we're following the Bob's Machine jack plate wires that go into the back of this 2026 Ranger 520R. What you're not going to see is me getting in the back of this boat, but I went in, grabbed the wire, brought it out where the anchor socket is. Now we got a ton of wire, so we're going to have to cut this down a little bit. We're going to leave 18 inches to 2 feet, make it easy to work on in the future. And then we're actually going to go ahead and cut that socket so that we can work on it easily and tee it in there. I don't like using T connectors or compression connectors. I want to make sure we have a good fit, good connection. So we send you blue butt connectors that are heat shrinkable, so you don't have to worry about corrosion or water. We're going to get everything done here. Then we're going to put these blue butts on. We're going to wrap these together and intertwine them before we put them in the butt connector. Then we're going to slide our butt on, then we're going to take a crimp tool of our choosing, and we're going to go and crimp these things in. When you crimp them, make sure that you crimp them nice and tight, and then take both wires and pull to make sure that they're in there snug. Now we're going to do the next side. I'm going to go ahead and do the other side real quick. Get everything crimped and butted together. Then we're going to heat up these heat shrinkable connectors. For the purpose of the video, we're going to use a big torch so that you can see it. Of course, stay away from boats, stay away from carpet, or anything else. We did this so that you can actually see what we're shrinking. It's both those connectors. Do one side, twist it, and do the other. Make sure you get a good seal all the way around the connector. Once that's done, we're going to simply plug it back in. Not all boats have plugs. Some you might have to hardwire in. Now we've got slack right here. We're going to push this back in the boat, and you're not going to see it again. We had to unzip tie that in order to disconnect it. We're going to hop back in there and just zip tie it back up like factory. Then we're going to put this in. We're going to put the screws in. At that point, your anchor light on the back of your shallow water anchor will work. But also, that means that that port is still available for you. So if you ever need be, you can put your factory anchor light back into your boat and it still works. Redundancy is key on the water. Things happen. Maybe you ripped it off, you hit a tree or something. You still need to be legal. You can put it in there. But now that we got that done, we've bolted our anchor light on. We ran down the chase. We left our loop in it the way we need to. We're zip tied in, and we're to the socket. Let's talk about the Raptor. The Raptor is absolutely identical install except for this knuckle here. It's a honeycomb. So we need to drill it different. We're going to drill right here. We're going to drill straight through the first section, straight through that second section. As the Raptor is open, go ahead and open it up and you can drill right through this section from the inside. That way you have a way to run your wire all the way in, and then down the chase, everything's the same. The 2 bolts up at the top there are the same 2 bolts that you're gonna use, or same holes with our bolts. You don't need spacers. When you tighten it up, it tightens straight to the honeycomb. But that way you've got everything you need for the Raptor.